and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, as we are indeed entering the final 3 games of the current season. And although the campaign may be winding down, and of course there's not long left now, but I think there are still some really key decisions and big choices that Xavi's got to make ahead of this game, particularly when you're looking at those forward areas. And that's really where we're going to pay special attention today. Big talking points on that front. And of course, speaking about that very area of the field, I think we're all excited. Doesn't matter what game it is, doesn't matter where we are in the season, to see some more of Ansu Fati, who is making up for lost time. It is all coming up today, guys. Thank you indeed for joining me, and let's get to it. Because if we do kick off by taking a look at the current La Liga standings, with Barca right now in second place, and of course with top 4 100% confirmed, we will be playing Champions League football next season. But of course what the target is now, it is to wrap up and nail down that second place finish in La Liga. Not where we want to be one higher, but still, best that we can do now, and that is the objective that we must have. And I think not only from a sporting and competitive point of view, but I think also financially, we've got to highlight here the importance of wrapping up second place. Because if Barca do indeed finish in second, they will receive an additional 8 million euros because of their participation then in the Spanish Super Cup, of course, that is held in Saudi Arabia. And also 7 million will be the difference there in prize money between finishing second and between finishing third. So that there could easily be an extra 15 million going into the transfer fund perhaps this summer. All this money is so important for Barca, and it could be the difference between making a signing and not making one. So very important that Barca here keep up the momentum, keep up the intensity, because we must get second. And I do think, guys, heading into this clash here against Celta Vigo is particularly interesting for 2 different reasons. And the first reason, in my opinion, would be when you're taking a look at the reverse fixture at Balaidos earlier on in the season, because let's not forget that was the very last game that we played before Xavi arrived as the Barca coach. Barca raced into a 3-0 lead at Balaidos, a brilliant first half display, some fantastic goals. We were under Sergi Barjuan, of course, at that point, but as we went into the second half, it only took 1 goal from Celta. They only got 1 back when all of a sudden those doubts started to emerge again. And in the pattern of our season up until that point, it was inevitable. Barca completely collapsed, conceding 1, conceding 2, and then indeed the equaliser, blowing our 3-goal lead. And that was who we were. And I think it was really important, I feel, that after Betis, Xavi really alluded to it. That's not us now, and we've got to keep proving that here. We've got to prove that our mentality has gotten stronger, and I believe that it has. We're a very different team now to what we saw in those kind of games. There's still a lot that we have to do, there's still a lot that we have to improve upon, but we are moving in the right direction, and there's a great opportunity here to show how far we've come and get this job done at the Camp Nou. Which brings me on to the second reason why it's interesting, also with Celta Vigo in mind, for Ansu Fati, because of course in the last game against Real Betis, we pointed out there, he got his long-term injury against Betis. That was when he injured his knee. That of course was the beginning of all of his difficult injury problems, and then he comes back and he comes on against them and he scores on his return. And I just wonder here, against Celta Vigo, because let's not forget, on that day at Balaidos, Ansu scored in that first half, and then he went off at the very beginning of the second, and coincidentally, that's when everything in that game started to unravel. And I just wonder here again whether Ansu Fati, especially back at the Camp Nou, what a goal would mean to him in this game. Right now, Xavi was very clear in his press conference that Ansu, he definitely is feeling good. He's very happy, he's very motivated, of course. But what he was very clear on was that the club have a plan, and they are not going to deviate away from that plan. They're not going to be rushed into anything here. Of course, there's a lot of enthusiasm surrounding Ansu. I'm sure that he wants to play as much as possible in these remaining games, but I think it's almost a case right now saying, look, we've got to hold you back just a little bit. We know that you're eager to get out there. We know that all of us fans as well want to see Ansu out there, but again, he's not going to be starting this game. It's going to be coming off the bench, bit by bit, easing him back in. There is no need here to rush with too many minutes too soon. Take care of Ansu, and the main thing is right now that he's feeling good. He's 100% fit, and when that time comes in the game, you know, he'll be ready. However, speaking about being ready to play, that brings me on here to the other forwards in the Barcelona squad right now. And one player who, in my opinion, still is not ready to be starting this game, it's Ferran Torres. And I do have to admit here that Xavi has been extremely patient with Ferran Torres. I think what he is determined to find a place for him. And look, I can kind of understand that Xavi wants to see him flourish, wants to make sure that he is going to play a part in this team, because look, it's in everyone's interest. We paid a lot of money for this guy. We want to see him doing well. We need to see him as part of this team. But I think you've got to take a step back right now and say it's just not happening. At the moment, his confidence appears to be on the floor, and he only seems to be suffering more as a result of the more and more minutes he's getting. I think the time has come, and I think it has been for a while now. We've said it before, take him out of that limelight. He's got a pre-season coming ahead of him, all of the summer to try and adjust and improve and all of that stuff, and just start him in this game from the bench. Take the pressure off him, and I would also say as well, if the time comes later in the game where Barca are ahead, where we're doing well, confidence is good, you can bring him on. And I would also say it would be nice to see him play with Ansu Fati. If you're going to bring Ansu on late in the game, you could bring on Ferran as well. They played well together for Spain. We haven't seen them together at Barca yet, and you have that chance if you bring him off the bench. And along with Ferran, guys, right now, I also have to be honest and say I'm interested to see what happens with Dembele in these final games, because suddenly now, as we're entering this final stage of the season, we're hearing a few rumours in the media coming out that maybe negotiations right now are just stalling, that Dembele apparently hasn't responded to the latest offer from Barca on that contract renewal, and there is a feeling in the media just starting to emerge that Dembele is playing for time, that he's just waiting here until that season is over, waiting and waiting and waiting, and of course once it is over, very, very soon after, his contract at Barca will be expiring. Now, of course, we don't know exactly what's going on. These are all just rumours. We have to be very, very clear on that. But I do wonder in these final games whether Xavi is going to play him in every one of them, or is there still going to be a bit of rotation there as well? I would certainly look at Adama Traore. I thought he came on and did really well against Real Betis. I think he deserves an opportunity, and I don't think it would hurt at all to be giving him maybe a few more minutes in this Barcelona team, because when we are looking at Xavi's options ahead of this one, what is really important to note there is that midfield area, because Sergio Busquets is suspended in this game, with Nico and Pedri also missing through injury. Jandro Orellana, he has been included in the first team squad. Really delighted, actually, to see him included there. Really hope to see him get a few minutes. Alvaro Sanz is also included in the squad, and Ricky Puig there with a real opportunity to play serious minutes in this game. And in terms of the starting lineup, I think Marc-Andre ter Stegen back in the squad, back fit and available. I think he'll start in this game, despite Neto putting on a solid performance against Real Betis. Dani Alves there will play at right back. Araujo and Garcia probably will continue, and it'll be the same back four that we saw against Real Betis. In midfield though, one enforced change. It's likely there that we will see Frenkie de Jong in that deeper position, unless Xavi throws in a surprise and actually starts somebody like Jandro in that area. But I think Frenkie will get an opportunity to play in that deeper role, see how he does. Gavi alongside him. Ricky Puig, is he going to start in this game right here? And then up front, for me, like I said, you can decide who you would play on the right-hand side. I think that is certainly up for debate right now, who is in that area. I think Aubameyang should get another opportunity from the start. The goals have dried up a bit for him right now, but hopefully he can get back amongst them soon. And I would give Memphis another go on the left-hand side. Against Mallorca, he was so good. Against Real Betis, he wasn't as effective, but I would try again with him in this game with, like I say, Ferran on the bench, and hopefully coming on later Later with Ansu Fati, which leaves us with the predictions. And obviously Barca have won their last 2 games by a single goal. Tight wins against Mallorca and then Real Betis. But you guys believe that in this game, it may be more comfortable. Can we here beat Celta by a 2+ goal margin? And I really hope that we do. I hope that in this game, guys, especially at home, we've actually seemed to be doing better away right now. Recently, especially. You know, we've got to produce something in front of our own fans. And the fans as well have got to lift up the players here. That is really, really important. Let's go into this game with confidence, with momentum, try and wrap up that 2nd place finish, and just finish this season in the best possible way. Please let me know all of your predictions down below in terms of the scoreline that you are expecting, and especially in terms of your starting lineup. This is an interesting period of the season now in terms of Xavi's plans. Let me know what you would do, and I will see you tomorrow for all of the reaction. Thank you guys for joining me both here and of course over on the 2nd channel. Great support. I really appreciate it. But until next time, as always guys, Visca El Barça.